on Facebook. But now we have found out that we have started talking more and more about the topics that are kind of related to secondhand items. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I think we had a technical issue, so you didn't hear me what I said. So good night. It is me, Gabriel, co-founder of twoguysin.com. Again, 8 p.m. Wednesday, and here I am. And today we are going to talk about electronics and used electronics and about the issue in Japan. But first of all, I want to do my introduction, which is I'm a co-founder of twoguysin.com as a second-hand item trade platform for foreigners living in Japan. Right now, we are doing mainly our activity in Hokkaido, Sapporo area, but our vision is big. We want to expand to whole Japan. So Twoguysin is a place or take the stuff that you like and you want and you need. And we are helping you to advertise your goods and items on our social media platforms, or we connect with our friends and people we know who would like to use your items or would need your items. And then we try to connect you each other smoothly, so everything goes as smooth as possible. You don't have any stress if you're coming in or if you're leaving, so you have a good taste in your mouth. Anyway, so this is our main business, main thing what we do here. And the video is for informing you guys. Actually, we have been doing this video shooting for mainly students in Hokkaido, Sapporo area, so help them. And then we have found out that we are more and more expanding to the topics that half related to students and half could be kind of related to something else. Like tonight, the topic that I'm going to talk, if someone in outside Japan is going to come to Japan and is thinking or she's thinking she'll buy some electronics when she'll come here, maybe this information will be useful for them. So that's why from now on, we are planning to put our videos on full length on YouTube. So if you want to watch the whole video, go to the YouTube, check our YouTube channel. The link will be below. I will put the link to our YouTube channel so you can check contents. And let's roll up. So tonight, I'm going to talk about the electronics. And actually, for the people who are outside Japan, Japan is the land of technology, right? So we think all the robots, all the devices and computers and Sony Walkman and everything that was born in Japan, we think Japan is a technology land. So that's why people outside Japan, if they're aiming to come to Japan, they have some expectations. And sometimes after you come, you start understanding that not everything is like that you have been thinking about. Because the information outside and inside is pretty different. I think this is sometimes biased, and it's not biased intentionally, but unintentionally, because mainly information about Japan is put on the internet in English by foreigners. And foreigners, most of them, they don't speak Japanese. So they write information that they see with their own eyes. Maybe they don't understand what's going on. Maybe they don't get the full information, but they just write about their experience. And experience of everyone is completely different, actually. If you know Japanese, that's totally different case. Especially for Japanese people, it's different case. So that's why today I wanted to share information about like secondhand technology, secondhand electronics in Japan. I have faced with this by myself in 2016, and I thought that it could be a good point for you guys as a reference point to know what's going on and what you could do. So in Japan, electronic devices are pretty cheap. If you're comparing it with the other side of the world, you can find good quality stuff for a good price. But it's a bit different case because here, hardware and software isn't coming together. It's most times you have hardware and then you're asking for them to put some kind of software on it. Like in my country, most time if you're buying a new PC, the seller will ask you, we have this programs for free. Would you like to get them? Here in Japan, it's almost non-existent. They don't ask you if you would like these items for free, if you would like these softwares for free, they all cost. Even Windows costs. They add it to the product as a cost. So secondhand, the used electronics is cheap, like by itself, dry hardware. But when it comes with the software, prices can change. And in Japan, mainly the electronics are sold in Yodobashi, Big Camera, Yamada Denki. It's kind of a chain stores of electronics and other daily used items, because like Big Camera or Yodobashi, you can also find like watches, and you can find some drugs, medicines, I mean, and you can find some other kind of goods like vacuum cleaners and everything that could be used as a, I don't know, white appliances kind of stuff. So it's a lot of variety. Actually, from the name, like Big Camera and Yodobashi Camera. So it's both at the beginning were kind of more into this technology part. And as the camera age is going away, what's left is name Big, and the name left is Yodobashi. So they are more focusing on diversifying the goods. So these are the places where you are going to buy new electronics. And most times you can find good deals there. Also, sometimes they, if you have a point card, you can get 10% off your money as a point back. So if you are buying something for 50,000 yen, you'll get 5,000 yen as a point back. Then you can later use that point to buy something in Yodobashi. Again, I think it's a very good way of rotating the money. It's kind of a cashback in some way. So a new item, a new electronics is pretty cheap, I would say, comparing all these tweaks and the points and system. But when it comes to the second hand, here deal is a bit different, because second hand you can buy offline in a store like Bukov or Hardov or Second Street, and you can buy online like Mercari, Yahoo Auction, maybe even sometimes Amazon can sell those kind of stuff. So you have two choices to buy second-hand electronics here in Japan in a bigger scale. We also do have sometimes in Gaijin like TVs and PCs. Right now there's available a PC on the website, and there's a TV available on the website. So if you want some of those items, you can check it on togaijin.com. But in a bigger scale, these are the places where you can go, like Book of Hardov, Second Street, you can almost find everywhere in Japan. And also online, they ship everywhere in Japan. Actually, in Japan, posting service is really working well. They just bring it up to your door. If you're not home, they'll just put a paper, and then you can either call or they read the QR code and go, and then they will come back after some time and deliver to your place, your package. Anyway, so secondhand items, secondhand electronics, you can buy in two places, right? And I would say mainly Bukov has quite a lot of variety. I have been doing sometimes shopping there. In some Bukovs, they have a big plastic boxes full of earphones, full of cameras, old-fashioned or like very used ones, and then phones you can have sometimes. It depends where you go, right? So you can have two choices in buying electronics as a used one. But there's another point. Which one is good or bad? Actually, the Bukov and Hardov has some pros and cons, and then online has it. In Bukov and Hardov, you can touch, you can see the item, you can understand the condition of it, and then you can purchase it if you like it. While you go on online, of course, you can't do the same thing like touching and seeing the real condition of the item, but there's something that you can do, which is trade. In Bukov shop, you can't ask the seller, the cashier, to make it cheaper for you. But in online, in Yahoo Auction, of course, you are bidding on the item. But when it comes to the Mercari, actually, here, what's going interesting is you can negotiate the price, talk with the seller, and then try to bargain the price of the good, and you can get really good deals there. So these are two trades of buying online and offline here in Japan. In most cases, you have no bargaining in the offline. When you buy secondhand, it's already quite cheap price. But also, you can find good deals on online. Sometimes people buy offline and then sell it online if they know their niche well. So this is what's going on in secondhand electronics. But I want to come to the main issue. In our country, like in my country, in Azerbaijan, if something is broken, there are plenty of places where you can take your item and they will fix it. And the fixing will not cost too much. Like if a keyboard is broken, you can take the PC to a repairman and then they'll handle it. But here in Japan, it's a bit different. In my country, it doesn't matter where the product comes from. It doesn't matter if it is, let's say, if it is Toshiba, it's made in Japan, or it's made in Russia, or it's made in maybe China, or maybe somewhere else. If I don't mistake, in Russia, they also used to produce some parts of Toshiba. So in Japan, it's a bit different. In order a shop, let's say it's a Toshiba shop, in order to fix your PC, it should be produced and sold in Japan. Otherwise, they say, we don't have parts of this product. Sorry, we can't fix it. So that's what I faced in 2016. My daughter, she poured a soup on my PC and the keyboard stopped functioning. So I ended up taking my PC to 3 or 4 different places to ask them if they can fix it. Almost all of them said no. In Yodobashi, they said, we can try to help, but it will cost you around 36,000 yen. And then they added up, it will be better if you'll just add up more, like 20 more thousand yen and buy a new one. So it's quite expensive to fix a broken thing here in Japan. That's why in Japan, used items are plenty and new items are so cheap, because it's a no-brainer that a new item that costs barely just a bit more than the used item or fixing it is a better choice. So that's why when something is broken, Japanese people don't mind throwing it away and then buying a new one. By the way, even though this is a kind of a country which is focused on recycling and environment friendly, Japanese people like new stuff. In their culture, there's some part about like mottainai, which is it's bad to throw away to something that you can still use, and also they kind of fix the broken ways or broken cups, kind of. But still, when it comes to this side of the situation, you'll find out that for them it makes sense to throw away something which is broken instead of fixing it, and then they buy a new one. By the way, technology, it's getting aged quite fast, even especially these days. So that's why for them, it makes sense just to buy a new one. In our countries, of course, it's cheaper to fix it. I took the same PC back to my country after 2 years in 2018, and they just fixed it for me almost for $30 or $40. And it's dirt cheap. And there are people who do business with this. They buy PCs and used items from overseas or broken stuff, and then they repair it in the country, and then they sell it to the people who would like to buy it. So if you are going to buy a PC or an electronic device, the best advice is either find it online and try to trade and get the item for a good price, or go and buy a new one. Especially you go and buy from a chain store that's quite big enough, and before buying, get their point card so you can get back part of your money. So actually tonight expectation was I'm going to do this meeting with Ken, and I'll go and ask his opinion about this whole situation, because he lived in US and he also lives in Japan, so he can compare and tell me his vision, what he thinks as a Japanese person. But thanks to the overwork in Japan, he can't participate tonight. So this is mainly what I wanted to discuss with you. And I wanted to urge you, if you're going to come to Japan, don't think that you're going to buy something very cheap. I don't know, or I don't know what's image in your head about Japan and buying electronics, but Japan isn't the same country that used to be in 90s, the land of technology. Most of the technology here right now is produced in China and sold in Japan. Japanese companies are outsourcing their technology companies to China and then producing it there and selling to Japan. So sometimes the goods that you're going to buy won't be made in Japan because it's cheaper to do it in China. And of course, the quality is still high, but it's no more made in Japan. So if you're going to come for a short time, or if you're going to come as a student, get ready for the situation here. So this is what I wanted to share. If we will wrap up, so the number one point here in Japan, new one will cost as much as maybe used one, or as much as fixing the broken one. So this is number one point. Number 2 point is you can buy new ones in chain stores like Big Camera, Yodobashi, or Yamada Denki, or online from platforms like Yahoo Auction, Mercari, or sometimes I think right now is also going up the Rakuma. It's another platform, and you can. There are trade-offs of each side. Also, you can buy the secondhand items from Bukov and Pardo. It's another platform. It's offline chain stores for buying used items, and you can compare and then think which one is better for you. If you're going to buy something that you want to touch and see what's going on, and then maybe buy many of them and do shopping in secondhand shop, that's the place to go. Or if you want to have a just particular one item, offline online, the Yahoo Auction or Mercari or any other Japanese platform is good to go. And you need to worry about like posting and sending it. Japanese post companies do it pretty well. So this is the situation. And why Japanese, if something is broken, they don't fix it, but they throw it away and buy a new one? Because it's way more cheaper to buy a new one than fix it. Most time the reason is because Japanese system is made so that they don't have the parts of the technology, parts of the electronics that's made outside Japan available in Japan. And if to consider the fee for the parts, also fee for the human, the factor, which is wage, the salary of the person who's going to fix it, the price is going pretty up. So that's why Japanese don't try to fix the broken stuff in the meaning of electronics and devices. They throw away and then they buy a new one. So this is wrap up for today. Sorry, it's shorter than I expected. It's just 20 minutes. Hopefully it will be useful for you. If you have any question, you can ask me about particular stuff and I can give you more information. One thing, I have a small kind of a surprise at the end of the video. In Sapporo, there is someone who is fixing the broken stuff. I knew about it after living in Sapporo almost for 7 years. I just knew about it at the end of the last year. He has his own website. His name is Glenn. He's from Australia. He has lived in Sapporo quite a very long time. And you can find him on a Facebook. If your item is broken, if your device is broken and you kind of has really needed information inside it, and like your research, your pictures, your videos, he can help you with that. And then you can take your stuff to him. He can fix it, give it back to you. By the way, he's not charging very expensive. It's very reasonable prices. He already helped me with the pictures that's stuck in my PC, and which the PC's hard disk doesn't open for a really long time. He was able to open it and take all the pictures for me, thanks to him from here. And if you're interested, if you want him to fix something that you need, either you can find him through the Facebook or you can contact us. I can help you to connect you with Glenn, and he can help you fix your stuff. So that's it for tonight. Thank you for listening and being with us. Hopefully next week Kensei will be with us together, and we can hear more from him about the next topic that we are going to share. Guys, if you want me to talk about the topics that are interesting for you, you can write to us and I can explore and then tell you based on our own experience and information that we can get into our hands in this kind of videos. And if you have any questions, you can write to us. We can answer your questions anytime you need. Thank you for listening. See you next time. See you next week.